Hey there, my name is Sage, and you're watching D&D Daily. Today I'm doing a blind stat block reading of the Witherbloom Professor of Growth from Strixhaven's Curriculum of Chaos. Professors of Growth nurture the essence of nature through their magic. They brew infusions of plants, fungi, and insects or other minuscule creatures that thrum with the essence of life, using these infusions to fuel their magic instead of using traditional material components. In battle, they flood their allies with vital essence, healing wounds, and soothing ailments. Their foes face the wrath of nature itself, from grasping plants and conjured poisonous vines to avatars of nature's wrath. These professors teach their students to focus on the growth side of the natural cycle of life and death, and to avoid wasting resources. They espouse the philosophy that a thriving system benefits all. The Witherbloom Professor of Growth is a medium or small druid of any alignment. They have an armor class of 13, 112 hit points, and a 30-foot movement speed. They have a +3 to Strength, +1 to Dex, +3 to Con, +3 to Intelligence, +4 to Wisdom, and +1 to Charisma. They have proficiency in Constitution, Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma saving throws, as well as the Arcana, Medicine, Nature, and Survival skills. They have resistance to poison damage and immunity to the poison condition. They have a passive perception of 14, they speak Common plus any 4 languages, they have a challenge rating of 7, and a proficiency bonus of +3. We start off with our multi-attack. The professor makes 2 Verdant Lash attacks, and notably we don't get to cast spells as part of our multi-attack, unlike the Professor of Decay. Verdant Lash is a melee spell attack with +7 to hit, a reach of 30 feet, and on hit it does 11 piercing damage plus 7 poison damage on average, and the target must succeed a DC 15 strength saving throw or be pulled up to 10 feet closer to the professor. Interesting that now they get a saving throw, unlike the apprentice's version. The professor comes with spellcasting, and at will can cast Druidcraft or Spare the Dying, and once a day each can cast Greater Restoration, Lesser Restoration, Mass Cure Wounds, Pass Without Trace, Plant Growth, and Revivify. And our final action is Summon Nature's Avatar, which recharges after a short or long rest. The professor magically summons a Groff. The Groff appears in an unoccupied space within 60 feet of the professor, acts as the professor's ally, and takes its turns immediately after the professor's. The professor can communicate telepathically with this Groff while it remains. The Groff remains for 10 minutes until it or the professor dies, or until the professor dismisses it as an action. Interesting stat block here. I think out of all of the different professors, this one has the worst action economy. We only have actions, no bonus action, no reaction, which is pretty unusual for any of the challenge rating 7 professors in this book. Kind of helping us out with that is Summons Nature's Avatar, because now we have a Groff who has its action, which does help out our action economy quite a bit. In a lot of ways, this feels like the continuation of the Apprentice and Pledge Mage line, where the Professor of Decay was kind of an offshoot. We do get to pull enemies towards us as part of our multi-attack. However, there is a saving throw now, which I think is pretty interesting, that Pledge Mages don't have to, no one stands a chance against their pull, but now that they've upgraded, now all of a sudden there's a saving throw. That's pretty weird. However, we do come with a lot more support for our allies, as well as still having the basic Pass Without Trace ambush predator style of play. I think this would be a great stat block for basically any apothecary in your world. Any city, you can throw the stat block on, and you have a pretty decently high level apothecary to work with. I would have them, be working for money. If you want Greater Restoration, you gotta pay me. Lesser Restoration, gotta pay me. Revivify, gotta pay me, so on and so forth. This has been the blind stat block reading of the Witherbloom Professor of Growth. We are D&D Daily. We release new D&D content every single day, so if that's interesting to you, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow.